Good morning, children. I hope you all are healthy and fine. Let us start today's topic, biomolecules. Biomolecules. Which is in the theory paper of about 7 to 8 marks. One 1-mark question, one 2-mark question, and one 5-mark question. Listen here. This topic is very important for the children, those who are going for NEET rather than JEE. Because this topic, already biomolecules we have studied in first year biology. But here we are dealing with their chemical composition and functional group. Which functional group is present and how to show the presence of functional group and what are their characteristics. All these we are going to discuss in this topic. And here in biomolecules topic, last year if you'll see the NEET paper, if you'll see the before last year NEET and the KCT paper, even this year paper also, you can find that 2 questions will be there from biomolecules. 2 questions. And major part of biomolecule is covered by different biomolecules are there, different examples are there. Major part is covered by carbohydrates. Okay. All these like this one importance of the topic for theory paper and as well as competitive exam paper. Let us start the topic. What are biomolecules? What is the syllabus for the biomolecule? Listen here, the deleted portion. Okay, they have deleted few part, that is a 30% of the syllabus, as you know very well. Last month they have deleted. And what are the bits we need to discuss over here? What are biomolecule? That is the introductory part as usual. Other than that, classification. That is carbohydrate classification related with only monosaccharide. No oligosaccharide, no polysaccharide. And its biological importance as we know. Other than that, we need to discuss about amino acid proteins. Amino acid proteins and as well as related with what? Nucleic acid. We have to discuss about nucleic acid and little bit part related with enzymes, hormones, vitamins and all. Some of the part they have eliminated from this one, the biomolecule earlier syllabus. Now come to the topic. Biomolecules. We know very well that bio represent life. With the topic name itself, we can understand that these are the molecules which are responsible to run the life. In a simple way, the molecules which are responsible to run life, they are called as biomolecules. And one more thing you need to remember that biomolecules are the organic compounds. What are biomolecules? Biomolecules are organic compounds. Biomolecules are organic compounds which are like the essential constituent. Which are essential constituent of living organisms. In different cells. I'll repeat the sentence. Remember one thing, this biomolecules, which are the molecule which are responsible to run biological life. As I said that they are responsible to run the life. Now, how to define? These are the organic compounds. These are the organic molecules which are present as essential constituent of living organism in different cells. Another point you need to remember that the biomolecules, whatever we need, that is all living system need matter as well as energy. And every biomolecule plays their own role. You can't compare the role of carbohydrate with vitamins. You cannot compare the vitamin biological role with enzyme. It means that every biomolecule plays their own role. Every biomolecule plays their own role. And other than that, one more thing we need to remember that whenever we are going for the biomolecule, they may be the complex molecule, they may be the simple molecule. Biomolecule, but most of the biomolecules are complex only. But if you are going for the amino acid, it is a simple molecule. So it means that the biomolecules may be complex, may be simple molecule. They may be simple or what are complex molecules. So we can say that whenever we are dealing with the biomolecule, as I said that these are the essential constituent of living organism in different cell. It means that somewhere we are making one sequence between biomolecule and living organism. What is that sequence? That is the sequence we can say. It is a sequence which correlate living organism and biomolecules how they are going to be correlate, because as we said that in the definition, they are like water, they are the essential constituent. Therefore, whenever we are dealing with the sequence, this sequence can be arranged as how to make the cycle. I think in biology you might have made this one, but we will make once again. So here in the living organism, we'll start from living organism. Living organism are related with organs. Correct? They are further related with what, children? Tissues. Then tissues to cells. Is it visible to you? Tissues to cells. Correct? Cells to organelles. Organelles to biomolecules. Remember this chain, it will help you in biology also, in chemistry also. So we can say that living organism to organ to tissues to cell to organelles, and organelles to biomolecule. This is the sequence where we are correlating living organism with biomolecule. With what? Biomolecule. So it means that these are the complex or the simple molecule. These are the complex or the simple molecule, and every biomolecule plays their own role, as I said. Okay. Now we'll see what are the examples of biomolecules. Biomolecules, like we will write one by one along with their applications also. Remember one thing. As I said earlier that we have studied this topic in biology. But don't write the batch biology, this one, your knowledge in chemistry paper. What we need, how much we need for this biomolecule topic in chemistry, that much is more than enough. Because some of the children, if they are asking the question related with examples of either carbohydrate, vitamins, or related with the proteins and all, they'll write the example which are not included in chemistry paper, but they are included in biology paper. Don't expect much biology from chemistry teachers. That's why don't write over there. Okay, we'll move to the examples like carbohydrates. This is the major part which is covered in second PUC syllabus. Amino acids and proteins. They are related to one another. Yes. Vitamins. All these vitamins. Then we are further related with enzymes. Hormones, nucleic acids, etc. etc. Okay, these are the examples of biomolecule. As I said earlier, that every biomolecule plays their own role. If you go for the carbohydrate are the essential constituent of our food. Correct? This carbohydrate may be extracted from plants or the animals, but it is necessary to run the water, to run our life, to do the work, we need energy. Amino acid and proteins. Amino acids are like the building blocks of proteins. Okay, proteins are what? Proteins are antibodies, proteins are enzymes, proteins are hormones, proteins are what? Antibodies, proteins are what? Biochemical messenger. So it means that like the structural material, because of protein, I am able to stand. So it means that they are having very important role as a structural material. The shape of the hairs, nails, muscles, all these are responsible for what? All these are the credit will goes to what? To whom? To protein. So it means that proteins are playing very important role. They are act as a structural material. They act as antibodies. They act as biochemical messenger. They act as hormones, enzymes. So it means that without this one, we cannot imagine the existence of life. Without biomolecule, we cannot imagine existence of life. Another point, vitamins. We know very well that vitamins we need very small quantity in our food. Very small, very minute, vital. But they are playing vital role. Vital role means what? Important role. That's why we can say that vitamins, enzymes. Without the presence of enzymes are what, children? Biocatalyst. Enzymes क्या है? Biocatalyst. Without enzyme, without biocatalyst, you can't imagine the biochemical reaction. So it means that these catalysts are playing very important role. Last one is nucleic acid. Correct? As you know that the hereditary character, hereditary similarity, or we can say that genetic behavior. In biology language, we can call it as genetic behavior. Can be identified with respect to what, children? Nucleic acids. Okay, this is the brief introduction of the topic. What I said, let me repeat for 2 minutes. Biomolecules. Biomolecules are the molecules which are responsible to run life. Okay, biomolecule may be simple molecule, may be complex molecule, but they are playing essential constituent of living organism. That means that they are having the sequence between living organism and biomolecule. What sequence they are having? Living organism to organ, organ to tissues, tissues to cell, cell to organelles, organelles to biomolecule. This cycle is very important. So it means that living organisms are related with the biomolecule. And some of the examples of the biomolecule, let us take what they have mentioned in our syllabus, like carbohydrate, amino acid and proteins, vitamins, enzymes, and nucleic acid. And every biomolecule will play their own role. You cannot compare the role played by what, children? Played by carbohydrate with proteins and amino acid. You cannot you cannot compare it with vitamins. You cannot compare with enzyme. You cannot compare with nucleic acids. Correct? So everybody is playing their own role. Everybody is playing what, children? They are going to be play their own role. That's why these are called as what? Biomolecules plays a different role. Every biomolecule plays their own role. So let us move to the topic. Carbohydrates. The first biomolecule they have mentioned in our syllabus is carbohydrates. Children, this topic is very interesting topic. Don't this one for the theory, as we are scoring the good marks over here. One 1 mark question, one 2 mark question, and one 5 mark question. And listen here, other than that, as I said that in the competitive exam also, this topic is very important. So here, and that too, topic is simple to be prepared. Topic is not tough. Remember one thing, when the topic is simple, when it is important for competitive exam and the theory, we should not go for skipping that topic. We need to concentrate each and every concept of the topic. That will help you lot in theory paper and as well as a competitive exam. Okay, so let us move to the first one, carbohydrates. 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 Listen here. Name itself indicate hydrates of carbon. Name what it indicates? Hydrates of carbon. Hydrates of carbon means what? They are composed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. What? Carbohydrates are what, children? Hydrates of carbon. Hydrates of hydrates of carbon. They are composed of three constituent elements like carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. They are composed of what? Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrates of carbon. And in earlier days, they used to define the carbohydrates are hydrates of carbon which are represented by general formula as CxH2O vitals. CxH2O vitals. So it means that these are the hydrates of carbon which composed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, and they are having the general formula what, children? CxH2O vitals. CxH2O vitals. Remember one thing, this carbohydrates, what we are studying about the hydrates of carbon, they are what? They are formed in the plants. They are formed in the plants and as well as animals. Do you know, children? Plants are going to be synthesized. Plants are going to be synthesized carbohydrate by a process called as photosynthesis. By a process called as photosynthesis. We know very well that photosynthesis where we are using by using the chlorophyll, that is X moles of carbon dioxide and Y moles of water. What we can say? X moles of carbon dioxide and Y moles of water are going to be produced in presence of sunlight. That is chlorophyll. In presence of water, chlorophyll. You know chlorophyll. What is chlorophyll? This is also a complex molecule where central metal atom is what? Magnesium. Central metal atom in chlorophyll is what, children? Magnesium. The X moles of carbon dioxide, Y moles of water are going to produce CxH2O vitals plus XO2. This is water. CxH2O Y times is what, children? That is carbohydrate. So it means that plants are going to be synthesized carbohydrate by a phenomena called as photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. If we'll go for the examples of the carbohydrate, or we can say that this one, the plant polysaccharide, examples like starch, cellulose, starch and cellulose. If we are going for the animal, remember here, animals are dependent on plants to synthesize what we can say carbohydrate. If we go to the example like glycogen. Glycogen is what? Animal polysaccharide. Animal polysaccharide. Last year in the KCET question was there. Identify the carbohydrate which is water, which is like a polysaccharide as a plant polysaccharide. Plant polysaccharide is water. Starch or the cellulose we can take the example. Animal polysaccharide we can take the example as glycogen. So it means that carbohydrates are formed in the plant by a process called as photosynthesis, but animals are depend upon. The animals do not synthesize carbohydrate by their own, but they are rely or they are dependent on what, children? Plants. They are dependent on plants. Now, how we are going to define carbohydrate? Let us move towards, children, definition. Definition. Definition of carbohydrate. What they said earlier, have you remembered? CXH2O white times. So it means that they said that carbohydrates are hydrates of carbon. Carbohydrates are hydrates of carbon which obey, these are hydrates of carbon which obey the formula CXH2O white times. CXH2O white times. If I am going to the example like glucose, we'll go to the example one by one. Glucose molecular formula is C6H12O6. Glucose molecular formula is what? C6H12O6. Similarly, fructose, same molecular formula, C6H12O6. Next, in the next bit, we'll see that they are having the same general formula, but where they are different. What functional group will be different? That we'll see next. Galactose, same molecular formula, C6H12O6. Altogether, you can observe that they are having general formula water C6H2O6 times. So it means that they are going to obey the general formula as CXH2O white times. They are obeying what, children? They are obeying general formula CXH2O white times. CXH2O white times. So it means that molecules, not only the simple this one carbohydrate. If we are going for complex also, if we'll go for the oligosaccharide like sucrose, maltose, lactose. Sucrose, maltose and the lactose all are having same general formula C12H22O11. C12H2O11 times. Is it visible to you? So we can say that C12H2O11 times. So it means that all these are what, children? They are like a sucrose, maltose, lactose. Formula is same. C12H22O11. They are obeying general formula as C12H2O11 times. 11 times. So it means that the molecules which are hydrates of carbon, they are composed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. They are composed of what, children? Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. And they should obey. And they should obey which formula? They have to obey CXH2O white times. When they are obeying CXH2O white times, these are called as carbohydrate. Okay. Now, we have taken the example like glucose, like fructose, like galactose. All the three are having same general formula. Okay. So here we can say that whenever they are having same general formula, that is C6H12O6, this can be written as C6H2O6 times. It means that they are obeying this general formula. They are obeying what? General formula. When they obey this formula, so it means that they are carbohydrate. They are obeying that formula. It means that they are what, children? Carbohydrate. Same way, the disaccharide also obeys. Disaccharide also obeys. So it means that if we are going for the polysaccharide, like starch and the cellulose. What is the formula for the starch? Starch, cellulose, C6H10O5 N times. Correct? Because these are the simple unit of sugars. These are double, means disaccharide. And this is what? Polysaccharide. They are having same general formula. I can write this as C6H2O 5 times. H2O 5 times. So it means that all these are considered as carbohydrate. That means that earlier they used to define that this one carbohydrates are hydrates of carbon. Or ek baat dekho, when any molecule, if they are having carbohydrate character, compulsion that they should obey this formula. Got my sentence? Which are having carbohydrate nature, whichever the molecule are showing carbohydrate character, they should obey this general formula. But some of the molecules are there like ramenose. Why I am repeating this sentence? Listen here. Carbohydrate like ramenose. Ramenose nature is carbohydrate with general formula C6H12O5. O5. Are they going to, if it is a carbohydrate, it should obey formula CXH2O times, but do not obey. Do not obey general formula. That means that how we are going to define with respect to general formula, it is not a satisfied answer. Got my sentence? What? I'll repeat my sentence. Carbohydrates are hydrates of carbon, CXH2O times. If they are having carbohydrate character, they should obey this general formula. Like we have taken some of the examples of monosaccharide, some of the examples of disaccharide, and as well as polysaccharide. Correct? Ramenose also a carbohydrate. Ramenose is carbohydrate with formula C6H12O5. Does not obey general formula. Does not obey general formula. So it means that defining carbohydrate with respect to general formula is not a satisfied answer. Is it clear to you? It is not a satisfied to you. It means that general formula is not the ultimate answer. General formula is not the ultimate answer to decide what the carbohydrate nature. Another example if we take, the molecules which are non-carbohydrate, but they are obeying this general formula. Can you repeat it? Here only I write. It will be good for you to compare. Taking an example, like formic acid, HCOOH. Are they carbohydrate? No, they are not carbohydrate. I write here non-carbohydrate examples. Non-carbohydrate example like formic acid. General formula, if I am going to write in the form of general formula, CXH2O time C1H2O. Correct? Okay. CX means C1. How many hydrogen are there? 2 plus 2. That means that they are having what? HCOOH. Carbon atom is 1. H2O 2 times. Correct? Another way. CH3COOH. Acetic acid. C2 H2O. H2O how many times? 2 times. That means that whenever we are going to take with respect to what children? Whenever we are going to take H2O, C1, HCOOH, H2O. Okay, we will not take formic acid example children. Okay, acetic acid. So it means that whenever we are going with respect to the molecular formula, 1 plus 1 will be 2, H2O, 4 are there, we can take it as this one. That means that they do not have carbohydrate character. They do not have carbohydrate character, but they are going to obey the general formula. So it means that whenever we are going to take with respect to general formula, answer is not satisfied. That means that some of the molecules are obeying general formula, which are carbohydrate in nature. Some of the molecules do not obey general formula, but they are carbohydrate in nature. Some of the molecules are non-carbohydrate, but they are obeying. That means that how we are defining the carbohydrate definition, it is incomplete definition. That's why we'll define carbohydrate in new terminology. Okay, we'll define the the carbohydrate. New definition. How to define? Listen here. New definition, and this will be the final definition. New definition of carbohydrates. New definition of carbohydrate. Carbohydrates are defined as the optically active molecules. Optically active molecules like polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones. Optically active molecules which are polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone. Polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone, or molecules which on hydrolysis produces polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone are called as carbohydrates. Are called as what, children? Carbohydrate. So I will repeat the sentence once again. The carbohydrate are optically active. Optically active means what, children? Already I have studied in haloalkane. We said whenever the molecule are containing chiral center, they are able to rotate plane polarized light. So it means that these are optically active substances are there which are containing polyhydroxyaldehyde. Optically active substances like polyhydroxy. Polyhydroxy means what? They are containing many number of OH group. Aldehyde, CHO. Okay, polyhydroxy, OH. Many group will be there. Many. Poly means what? Like many number of OH group. Ketone, C double bond. It means that these are the optically active polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone. And other than that, even the molecule which on hydrolysis gives polyhydroxyaldehyde and polyhydroxyketone, they too are called as carbohydrate. They too are called as what, children? Carbohydrate. So listen here, we can say that new definition of the carbohydrate is like this. We can, when they are asking definition, don't write this old definition. Leave it that one, discard that definition, because we cannot justify for all the carbohydrates CXH2O1. Molecules which are like carboxylic acid, as I said, acetic acid, non-carbohydrate but obeys the general formula. It means that way defining the CXH2O time is what? Unable to justify for all the example. Correct? That's why we'll leave that one. We'll go for the new definition. When they are asking in the theory paper to write the definition or in the option to identify the proper way of defining what? Carbohydrate, we have to consider this one. These are the optically active polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone, or any molecule which on hydrolysis gives polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketones. They are called as what, children? They are called as carbohydrate. They are called as carbohydrate. Now, as per the definition, as per our syllabus, we need to discuss about their classification. Okay, as per the syllabus, after the definition of the carbohydrate, what we have to discuss? Classification. Then, in the syllabus, separately we need to discuss about monosaccharide, like glucose and fructose. Okay, like glucose and the fructose, but the glucose is in detail rather than fructose. So here in this case, we need to discuss what, children? Glucose elucidation, that is structural elucidation, how we can come to know the existence of this one, the molecule. Other than that, we have to discuss about their characteristic also, biological importance, all those we'll see one by one. Let us move to what? Classification. Classification of carbohydrates. Children, you do one thing. Whatever explanation we are, this one just explaining on the board, by watching all those videos, just to make the separate this one notes, just to make the point, even if you want to elaborate, anyhow we are posting the notes on your WhatsApp group. Other than that, refer NCERT book to write all the points. No point should be other than NCERT. As I have repeated many times in the first year also, even in the second year also we are going to say the same. If the no question is going to ask other than NCERT, then why to read? Why to read? Some of the examples are there, like in the NCERT, they have given the text question, unsolved question at the end of the topic. All those we need to solve one by one. And remember here, many of the points are there, as I said, that they are related with your biology syllabus. But don't expect this one much biology in chemistry. Okay, so let us move to classification of carbohydrates. Classification of what? Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are classified on the basis of different factors. Many factors are there on the basis of which carbohydrates are going to be classified. Okay, on the basis of, first we can take like the product obtained after hydrolysis. Based upon that, depending upon functional group, depending upon taste. So it means that there are different ways are there to define, to classify carbohydrate. Let us move to the first one, the classification on the basis of number 1. Classification on the basis of mode of hydrolysis. Mode of hydrolysis. Okay, so it means that the product obtained after hydrolysis also we can say. Based upon this one, they are having first one like monosaccharide. They may be monosaccharides. Okay, they may be oligosaccharide, and they may be polysaccharide. Saccharide. Do you know saccharum? Saccharum. It is a Greek word which means sugars. Which means sugars. Saccharum. It is a Greek word which means sugar. Which means sugar. Okay. Other than that, we need to remember that whenever we are going to write, actually nomenclature they have not mentioned in our syllabus. That's why we are not going to take. According to the nomenclature, all the carbohydrate will be end with OSE according to IPAC nomenclature. All the carbohydrates are having the suffix as OSE. Suffix. All carbohydrate I said. Remember one thing, whenever we are going to take carbohydrate as a sugar, polysaccharides are non-sugar. Polysaccharides are non-sugar, like glycogen. It is an animal polysaccharide, but it is not end with OSE. You may think, when the madam is going to say related with OSE, glycogen is not end with OSE. Okay, all those part we'll see later. So here we can say that carbohydrate on the basis of mode of hydrolysis, they are classified as what, children? Monosaccharide, oligosaccharide, and as well as polysaccharide. Monosaccharides. What are monosaccharides? That will see. Now for that sake only I have written all the 3 separate. It will be easy for you to go to directly definition. Monosaccharides are simplest unit of sugars. Simplest unit of sugars, which cannot undergo further hydrolysis. Which cannot undergo further hydrolysis. That means that carbohydrates, like the first classification on the basis of mode of hydrolysis, first one is monosaccharide. Monosaccharides are simplest unit of sugars which cannot undergo further hydrolysis. Simplest unit of sugars which cannot undergo, which will not undergo further hydrolysis. Examples will take, children. Examples like glucose. Examples like glucose. It should not be any confusion, huh? Because at the top I have written oligosaccharide and this one will run. Yeah? No confusion, nothing. So here we can say that glucose, fructose. Okay, another one, galactose. Glucose, fructose and the galactose all are having the general formula C6H12O6. They are having the same general formula C6H12O6. C6H12O6. Remember one thing, glucose is allohexose. Glucose is allohexose. Fructose is ketohexose. Galactose, it is also allohexose. It is also allohexose. But glucose and galactose, they will be differ in the position of hydrogen and OH group. Hydrogen and OH group at one of the carbon atom. Okay, that we'll see as epimers. That we'll see in this one. So here we can say that glucose, galactose, both are allohexose. They are what? Aldehyde group, 6 carbon atom. OSE means what I said? Sugars. Aldehyde, 6 carbon atom. Nature is sugar. Correct है ना? क्या बोलेंगे? They are containing aldehyde, 6 carbon atom और nature क्या है? Sugar. Nature क्या है? OSE. As I said, according to IPAC nomenclature, OSE should be used. OSEOs should be used for carbohydrate. That's why you can say allohexose. Same way ketohexose, ketone group, 6 carbon atom, sugar character, 6 carbon atom, aldehyde group, sugar nature. Okay, so it means that carbohydrates are classified as first classification is on the basis of mode of polymerization. They are monosaccharide. What are monosaccharides, children? Monosaccharides are the simplest unit of sugars which will not undergo further hydrolysis. Which will not undergo. Even we can say which will not undergo. Which will not undergo further hydrolysis. They are called as what, children? They are the simplest unit of sugars like water, carbohydrate. And remember here, about 20 monosaccharide units occur in nature. About 20 monosaccharide units occur in nature. Occur in what, children? They occur in nature. So it means that whenever we are going with respect to monosaccharide, these are the simplest unit of sugars. Monosaccharides are what? Simplest unit of sugars which cannot undergo further hydrolysis. Okay, shall we go for next? Okay, we'll go for oligosaccharide. Second is one is what, children? Oligosaccharides. Go on writing the points. Remember one thing, without writing the points, you can't understand. That's why you make one separate book. Last topic also. Amine, this one, amines also. In between, due to this one lockdown and all, I have engaged only 2 classes. Okay. After that, it has been continued by Satish sir. Because of lockdown and all, I was unable to come. So here in between, for that topic, even for all the topics, better that you this one write all the points in separate book. It will help you a lot at the time of exam, because making notes is must children. Remember here, just you can't read, you cannot justify yourself just by reading NCERT. Make the points. Second one is what, children? Oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharide. As I said, saccharum is a Greek word. Even saccharon is a Latin word, which also means sugars. So here oligo means what? The few. Oligo means what, children? Few. So here we can say that few monosaccharide unit. Oligosaccharide on hydrolysis produces few monosaccharide unit. Few monosaccharide units. Few monosaccharide units. They are called as what, children? Oligosaccharide. And usually they contain 2 to 10 monosaccharide unit. 2 to 10 monosaccharide unit. That means that oligosaccharide, oligo means few. They may be disaccharide, tetra, penta, hexa. So it means that 2 to 10 monosaccharide units are present in oligosaccharide. We'll go to one by one. Let us move to first one. First one as disaccharide. Name itself indicate. What does it indicate? Tell me. Disaccharide. Disaccharides are one. Disaccharides are one which produces 2 monosaccharide unit. Disaccharides are one which produces 2 monosaccharide units. That's why I'm changing the color of the pen. कितना unit? 2 monosaccharide. किससे? Disaccharide. By which phenomena? Hydrolysis. By which reaction? Hydrolysis. By hydrolysis, disaccharide produces 2 monosaccharide unit by hydrolysis. 2 monosaccharide unit by hydrolysis. They are called as what, children? Disaccharide. Okay? And remember one thing. Always the carbohydrate like the disaccharide, trisaccharide, tetrasaccharide or the polysaccharide, one sugar unit will be linked with other sugar unit by a hemiacetal or acetal linkage. That means that to break the bond between 2 monosaccharide unit, how many moles of water molecule has to be added? 1. It means that those sugar unit हैं. एक मिनट थोड़ा देखो. This is A, this is B. This is A, this is B. Both are monosaccharide. They are linked by hemiacetal linkage. They are linked by what, children? Glycosidic linkage also you might have studied. Correct? Actually within this they are present as hemiacetal linkage also. To break this one between 2 monosaccharide, we need to add 1 water molecule. Trisaccharide है तो 2 water molecule. Tetrasaccharide 3 water molecule. Got my sentence now? So it means that 2 disaccharides are one which on hydrolysis gives what? 2 monosaccharide unit. Which on hydrolysis gives what, children? 2 monosaccharide unit. We'll write example one by one. Like example, sucrose. Sucrose. Okay? Sucrose on hydrolysis produces what? Glucose and fructose. And according to one more IUPAC system of carbohydrate, first 3 alphabet can be represented. First 3 alphabet are enough to represent. C12, H22, O11 on hydrolysis in presence of acid or even invertase. invertates. What they are going to produce, tell me? Glucose, C6H12O6 plus C6H12O6. One will be glucose, other will be fructose. Okay, na? So what we can say? Disaccharide, which on hydrolysis produces 2 monosaccharide unit. They will produce what, children? 2 monosaccharide unit. They are called as disaccharide. They are called as what? Disaccharide. Another one, another example we'll take. Like after the sucrose, we are having maltose. Another example. This is first example. Second example. Maltose on hydrolysis gives 2 unit of glucose. Same formula. Formula will be same. I need not to write once again the formula. Here we can write it as C12H22O11 on hydrolysis produces C6H12 in presence of acid. H12O6 O6. Both are glucose. Is it visible to you? Yes. Both are glucose. So it means that we are maltose. Same way, lactose. Same way, lactose. Correct? Na? Lactose on hydrolysis gives what, children? Gives glucose and galactose. Glucose and water, galactose. So it means that whenever we are going to take with respect to what, children? Whenever we are going to take with respect to the oligosaccharide, these are the water, these are the carbohydrate, which on hydrolysis gives fewer unit of monosaccharide unit. If we are going with respect to the disaccharide, name itself indicates that they are going to produce water, 2 unit of sugar unit. That is disaccharide, which produces 2 monosaccharide unit. Like sucrose on hydrolysis gives glucose and fructose. Like maltose on hydrolysis gives 2 unit of what, children? Glucose unit. Same way, lactose on hydrolysis gives 1 unit of glucose and 1 unit of galactose. Remember one thing, glucose, fructose and galactose are having same general formula. Glucose, fructose, galactose are having same general formula. This is disaccharide. Few I said. Let us move to what, children? Trisaccharides. I hope you people are understanding. If any doubt, anything are there, you can post on WhatsApp group. So next one, trisaccharides. Trisaccharides means what? Name itself indicate. Name itself indicate the carbohydrate or the sugars which on hydrolysis gives 3 monosaccharide unit. 3 monosaccharide unit. Okay. Second one, what are trisaccharides? One example we'll take. Trisaccharide, which on hydrolysis gives 3 monosaccharide unit. 3 monosaccharide unit. Example, okay? Like raffinose. Raffinose, which on hydrolysis in presence of acid converted into water, glucose, fructose and galactose. How to remember this formula? Listen here, I'll give you clue over here. How to remember the formula? We know very well that this on hydrolysis. Raffinose contain how many sugar unit? How many monosaccharide? 3. So how many water molecule has to be added? 2. How many water molecule has to be added, children? 2 plus CHO. I'll tell you how to write. Listen here. Because all these formula like complex molecule, it will be difficult to remember number of carbon and all. C6H12O6 C6H12O6, C6H12O6. How many carbon atoms are there? 6 3s are 18. Correct? How many hydrogen? 12 3s are 36. 36 minus 4 will be what? 32. है ना? Oxygen 6 3s are 18. 18 में 2 गए, बचा कितना? 60. Correct? This is what? Raffinose. Raffinose on hydrolysis. As I said that 2 sugar unit, 1 water molecule. 3 sugar unit, 2 water molecule. Has to be added. Okay? So here we can say that when they are going to be produced, glucose, this is glucose, this is fructose, and this is galactose. Same way, tetrasaccharide. Tetrasaccharide. Name itself indicate this on hydrolysis produces what, children? 4 monosaccharide unit. 4 monosaccharide units. Example, stachys. Stachys. S-T-A-C-H-Y-O-S-E. Stachys on hydrolysis in presence of acid produces glucose or fructose or galactose. Chalo 2 plus 1 plus 1. That means that tetrasaccharide. Stachys. Like this we will write the formula. How to remember the formula? Listen here. 3 molecules of water has to be added. CHO. Okay, how to calculate number? Listen here. C6H12O6. C6H12 visible. H12O6. 2 molecules of galactose. 2 molecules of galactose. How many number of carbon atom? Tell me. 6 4s are 24. How many carbon atom? 24. How many hydrogen? Okay, 12 4s are 48. 48 minus this one, 6. 48 minus 6 will be how much? 42. Then oxygen. 6 4s are 24. 24 minus 3, it will be how much? 21. Correct? That means that whenever we are going to take with respect to tetrasaccharide, similarly, penta and all we need not to discuss. Similarly, penta, hexa, so on. That means that whenever we are going to write oligosaccharide, remember one thing, carbohydrates are classified on the basis of what, children? On the basis of number of sugar unit which are going to be produced on hydrolysis. As we said that monosaccharides are the simplest unit of sugars which cannot undergo further hydrolysis. Whereas oligosaccharide, we have taken for the monosaccharide example like glucose, fructose, galactose. Here, oligosaccharide, oligo means few. So here saccharide, they too are sugars. But they are on hydrolysis produces few number of monosaccharide units. That's why they are called as oligosaccharide. If you go to the example like disaccharide, earlier I have taken a disaccharide like sucrose, maltose and lactose. Sucrose on hydrolysis gives glucose and fructose. Lactose on hydrolysis gives glucose and galactose. Maltose on hydrolysis gives glucose and glucose only. Is it clear to you? How many water molecules should be added for a disaccharide to convert it into monosaccharide? 1. So here, same way, trisaccharide. Trisaccharide which on hydrolysis gives 3 monosaccharide unit. Example like raffinose. Raffinose on hydrolysis gives glucose, fructose and galactose. क्या करेंगे बोलो? Glucose, fructose and galactose. I have given one clue because these formulas are not so easy to remember. इसलिए क्या करेंगे? On the this side, right side, first we'll write 3 monosaccharide unit. Afterwards, you can write number of carbon and hydrogen. As I said earlier, for trisaccharide we need 2 water molecule. For tetrasaccharide we need 3 water molecule. Correct? Okay? Similarly, other than water, trisaccharide or the tetrasaccharide. Even we can go to with respect to what children? Even we can think of pentahexa and all. The last classification is water. Next is what? Polysaccharides. Okay, polysaccharides will continue in the next class. I hope you people have this one understood this topic. Topic is easy also to understand and interesting also. Okay, do well, write all this one. If any doubt are there, you can raise. Tomorrow let us move to the remaining classification. First we'll go for the polysaccharide, then we'll go for the remaining classification. Okay, we'll continue in the next class. Okay, thank you one and all.